Hi there, I'm Christy. I am the book-loving half of this Etsy shop duo, and I'm here to help you make some book covers. So making book covers is, in the way that I personally make them, is very approachable, no special skills involved, and you'll get the hang of it very quickly. This tutorial might need to be paused as you make them the first or the second time so you can sort of follow along, but once you make a few, honestly, it becomes quite doable and natural, and then you just need to pick up some little tips and tricks for maybe some more difficult book covers that are harder to find images for, which I will have different tips and tricks videos uploaded to our YouTube page over time. So let's say you've made a purchase from our shop and you sent me a book list because those are the books you want to turn into mini books. I would then take that book list and send it back to you with this template and all the sizes filled out for you so that you know what size to make them in order to have them look more like their real life self. So we're going to practice today with the Cruel Prince. The Cruel Prince is listed here as size 2, and so when you're ready to start making book covers, you're simply just going to open this template. The template asks you to make a copy, so you're just going to click make a copy. That way you can edit it and mess around with it, and it becomes your document. So the landing page here has the links to our social and our shop. That way if you run into any issues or have any questions, you can reach out to me, and I'm glad to help in any way. So the second page was where the video tutorial will live, as well as all the links to help you find all the images that you need in order of most useful to least useful. However, I get images from all of these websites depending on the book. So you can see here we have all these different sizes, all the way up to size 12, which is the largest book with the largest spine. However, the Cruel Prince is size 2, so we're going to focus on size 2 today, which you can see here is a medium book and is actually the most common size. It's most common size because the page length ends up having a lot of books fall into this category. So when you're ready to start making book covers, I simply start with Google Images, where all good image searches start. So I'm going to type in the Cruel Prince book cover. Typically the first result you'll see is from Amazon, and I typically do not copy and paste from Google Images. Instead, I click on the image and I click on the image again on Amazon to get the largest and highest quality version of that image. So I'm going to copy that image from Amazon and I'm going to bring it over to the size 2 template slide, because this is where I'm going to create my book. So you can see here the measurements that we need for the cover to be. So rather than size it manually by dragging the corners of the picture, we're going to actually just type in those measurements using format options and then clicking on size. So once you do that, you can actually just type in the measurements listed here, 0.85, 1.4. And one important thing is that you do not have this box checked. The box that says lock aspect ratio, that should not be checked, because then it will limit the sizes that you can do for width and height. So now that I have my front cover made, I'm going to go ahead and look for the back cover. And you can see here that, again, the first result is on Amazon. But one thing you'll notice when making book covers is sometimes you run into the UK version of a book, which I can tell this one is based on the pound sign here on the price. So let's say I want the US cover. I can see here that the US cover is this one here that has the sharpen your blade, harden your heart at the top. And this actually is a mini book already made here. However, I don't typically use those because a lot of times on Pinterest the quality of the image is low. But a super helpful tip when doing Google image searches is once you have the image that you're looking for, so this is the back cover that I want, if you scroll down, Google typically will suggest images that are similar. In this case, I don't see a great back cover image, so I'm going to click on this other back cover here, which is semi-decent quality. It looks a little crooked, so I'm going to scroll down. And I see here, this is an eBay image result, which is where I get a lot of images. And this looks like it's going to be really high quality. So I'm going to check this one out. And you see here that it is a very high quality image. So I'm going to go ahead and take it from there. And I'm going to copy and paste that over. So a skill that you need almost every time you make a book cover is cropping. So when you crop an image, you can click this button up here, that's the crop button, or you can simply just double click on the image. Once you do that, you can then just drag the corners or the sides in to cut out the parts that you don't need. So once you do that, you're left with just the back cover. And now we're just going to change the size again, just like we did for the front cover. I would say that the back cover is looking maybe slightly dark. It doesn't look as bright as the front cover. So a very easy fix for that is clicking adjustments on the right. And you can mess with the brightness and the contrast. So I'm going to bring the brightness up just a little bit. And you can see when I do that now, it looks much whiter like the front cover. So now we're going to do the book spine. The book spine is almost always the trickiest part. However, for more popular books like the Cruel Prince, you typically will have plenty of options to choose from. So here, this first result is the jackpot of all results because it's a super high quality image and it has all three. So if you're making a series, that will be very helpful to you. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this image over. And again, we're going to use that cropping skill. So we're just going to either click the crop button at the top or double click the image. And I'm going to drag this in so that it cuts off the other two spines and I'm left with just the Cruel Prince. So now I just need to size the spine to what's listed here. So 0.28, 1.4. Okay, so you probably had to pause. So again, sorry if it's moving a little quickly. However, once you have all three pieces, you are basically there. Now we just need to put it all together. So I always like to put the spine first because you see that the red lines pop up on Google, which tells you that you're centered in both directions. So that is super helpful. And so I place the spine first, and then I put the front cover and the back cover lined up next to it because, again, the red lines pop up to tell me that I have it centered and right next to the spine. And so now that all three pieces are next to each other, I simply just need to group them together. And to do that, I'm just going to make a copy of this black box over here because this black box is the correct size. And so I'm going to make a copy of it and I'm going to line it up on top of my book cover. And again, the red lines make that very easy. And so now I just need to group it all together. So to group something, all you have to do is click and drag your mouse across the image and it'll highlight everything. And then you just right click and hit group. So once you do that, now you have a fully connected book cover with the black outline, which makes it easier to cut later. So then all you would do is take your book cover and go ahead and put it on the print page. And the print page is actually on the original document that you're sent. So you can see here that it's on the page right after your book list. So that way it's all in one spot. And the print page is already laid out for you as an 8.5 by 11, so you don't have to size it at all. All you have to do is simply copy and paste your book covers onto this page. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I like to leave just a fair amount of margin around the sides so that it all fits when I go to print. And so eventually, as you make your book covers, you will fill up your print page with as many books as you can fit. That way you're using as much of the paper as you can. So I like to try and fully max it out. And you can get creative with the way that you arrange them so you can fit as many as possible. So for example, I have all this space over here, but I can't fit another one horizontally. So maybe instead I go ahead and rotate some books the other way so that I can fit a few more down the side. So once your print page is fully maxed out like mine and you left space in between so that it's easier to cut, at that point you just need to follow the directions here to print so that it turns out the highest quality. Now the sticker paper that we use is linked here. It's super affordable. It's $7 for 25 sheets, or at least at the time of filming this video, which would allow you to print hundreds of book covers. So you would not need to purchase more paper for many, many, many book covers. You could also use regular printer paper and adhere the paper to the books with Mod Podge or some sort of glue, but it is a little more time consuming that way. You can simply just cut these out with regular scissors, or if you have a paper cutter, that's great, but you really just need scissors. So once you're ready to print, you will simply just make sure to set 3 settings correctly. So that is scale, quality, and paper. So scale should be one of the first options that you see, and so you want that scale to be fit to paper. You do not want it to be fit to printable area. Then you're going to find the rest of your printer settings, which your screen might look different than mine. But the two settings you want to track down are paper and quality. So the paper you want to change to glossy, assuming you're using the sticker paper, and then the quality you want to change to high. You can leave it standard. It will turn out just fine. It just turns out a little bit nicer when you use high. Also, there's many options for glossy, so it doesn't really matter which one you pick. Just find the one that works well with your printer, but really any of them will work. So then you would just hit print and cut them out and apply them. So that's basically how you would make book covers from start to finish. And like I said, there will be tips and trick videos uploaded to the YouTube page because, full disclosure, this was an easier book cover to make simply because it's a very popular book. So things like crooked images or images with bad lighting, things like that that you might encounter will be things that I address over time with some tips and tricks for you. Thank you so much again for supporting our shop. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or issues or you need any help with any steps along the way. Thank you so much.